This really puts people's lives at risk.
There's somebody that threatened to burn all the houses down yesterday.
They're holding people hostage in their homes, or they're keeping people from getting into their homes.
I worry about something happening here that's the spark that lights the fuse that causes bigger problems than we already have right now.
I'm going to protect what's mine.
Some 65 rural Wisconsin families are currently being held hostage by the Lac de Flambeau Band of Lake Superior Chippewa in a bitter land dispute. The tribe has erected illegal barricades on 4 roads, preventing dozens of families from entering and leaving their property. The only way out of the reservation is over frozen lakes that are quickly melting with the coming spring. Records from the Bureau of Indian Affairs prove that the blockades are unlawful because all 4 roads in question receive federal funding through the Tribal Transportation Program.
If you look behind me, you'll see the barricade. And then you see the barricade at the top of the hill. That's 153 feet for this entire road that has, I think there's 28 residents behind it. All right, so we're arguing over or having a conflict over 153 feet of this road.
To open the roads, only for 15 years, Tribal President John Johnson is demanding $20 million, an amount that Congressman Tom Tiffany describes as tantamount to extortion.
Do you guys think that the $20 million is a reasonable ask?
No, it's absolutely absurd. It's extortion. Congressman Tom Tiffany sent President Johnson a letter and told him that it's extortion. The road on our road, it's 153 feet that is on tribal land, and it's about 2.5 miles from that point to our house. My house isn't worth $20 million, nor is the road. It's pure extortion. I'm not sure what their end goal is, but they've stopped negotiating. The last offer that we made, their response was not enough, try again. That's it. So they're not negotiating in good faith, and I don't think they want an outcome to this.
When developers built homes for non-members of the tribe, they obtained right-of-way easements for parts of the road that passed tribal land, but the easements expired more than a decade ago. No one is disputing that the tribe owns the portions of the road that it's blockading. The question is whether or not the easements are worth $20 million. But the tribe has barred anyone, including Representative Tom Tiffany, the title companies, and the landowners, from viewing the road's right-of-way appraisals. Tribal President Johnson claims the title companies haven't, quote, negotiated in good faith, while the attorney for the residents, hired by one of the title companies, says the tribe and the Bureau of Indian Affairs have been slow and unresponsive.
It's not as simple as the tribe is not being compensated as a result of an expiration of that easement. That's certainly part of the story, and the tribe has a point in regards to that, but there's more to it. What is the value of that easement? Let's see the appraisals from the Bureau of Indian Affairs. And that's where the Bureau of Indian Affairs has been very remiss in not getting the information out that they should. At this point, there's probably more questions than answers in regards to how these dollars are being expended, and how can the tribal council say, we're simply going to close roads, when, in my estimation, there's a requirement that these roads do stay open because of the federal funding that's going into them.
The tribe, look, they deserve compensation for this. You know, when our, easements were set up, someone paid for those easements back in the day. So pay for it, get it done, get it set up so we don't have this issue.
I think all parties have their points, right? I'm not saying that the town's exactly right or the tribe's exactly right, but right now they're just not talking. And the only way that this is going to get resolved is at some point in time to sit down and talk to one another about what the issues are and then come up with a rational solution for it. I just don't think that locking the citizens into their property and doing all this is a way to do it. I mean, this really puts people's lives at risk, and this is pretty serious.
And we feel like we're caught in the middle of a discussion between the town, the tribe, and the Bureau of Indian Affairs, right? And it feels like, we're trying to prove a point, and we're being stuck in the middle of that proving a point. We're not denying that there's been past history, but what we are saying is we have a public road that's been blocked by the tribe. and it's not allowing me, my wife, and other people to go to work every day.
Residents can't work, have their garbage taken out, buy groceries, receive mail, or vote unless they cross the frozen lake. The tribe agreed to remove the barricades for doctor appointments and ambulances only. Residents say it can sometimes take the police department almost an hour to remove the barricades, causing a major safety concern.
If we needed emergency assistance, I don't know what would happen, to be honest with you. I mean, emergency assistance up here, even when the chain's not here, isn't good to begin with, but yet alone get somebody here to be able to take the gate off and let us in, it would be a difficult thing to do, I think. There are people up here that are living with high degrees of stress and emotional stress. Talked to one gentleman yesterday over on one of the other lakes. I can't remember the road that he was on, but he's a Vietnam veteran. He said, Dave, he said, my stress level in Vietnam was at a 10. He says, I'm at a 9.9 right now. Just the feeling of not being able to go when you need to go and do what you need to do. He said that I went to for medical purposes, the tribal police are coming out and letting people get across to go to medical appointments, but you have to show them that you have a doctor's slip in order to get across the gate. He waited at the gate for 50 minutes while they found the right key to open up the gate and let him out. So that had been a true medical emergency. I hate to think of what would happen.
When the ice goes out, tensions will even get hotter. Right now, we at least have a way to get to work. But when the ice goes out, we won't. There'll be no way to get to and from. Unless I walk across this 153 feet every day. Then I don't have a place to park.
And how, I don't know, Michael, you might know the answers too, but like when does the ice start to melt where it's unsafe?
About 2 weeks, probably. It depends on the year, but within 2 weeks, probably. Mid-March is about March 15th, is when the 6th, all the ice shanties have to be off, and then it starts to get unsafe. But
I think there's any chance it gets fixed before that?
I think it has to get fixed before that. I think it should be fixed next week. It should have been fixed 24 days ago, right? We've made their point, right? Enough's enough, right? Stop holding people hostage, because that's what they're doing. They're holding people hostage in their homes, or they're keeping people from getting into their homes. Right? We've had elderly people that had to leave that lived here full time. We've had people with special needs children that had to leave that lived here full time because they couldn't get to and from.
It's escalating. It's escalating, and we need help. We need help. There was somebody that threatened to burn all the houses down yesterday. It was a Facebook post on the Behind the Barricades webpage, but they removed it, and I believe they notified the police. I don't know if it was tribal police or if it's sheriff, but you can't keep waking up every morning to that. I'm paying taxes to be illegally blockaded on my private land, and it's the United States of America. This shouldn't happen. We work 100 hours a week. We grind it out every day. We're trying to do something nice for this community, nice for ourselves, and there's nothing nice about this.
You said that you're going to close down your business, and it's because you live on the inside of the barricade, so it's too difficult for you to come in. Is that what's happening?
Yes, especially if you've driven the roads a little bit. We need to make sure we have reliable transportation getting to and from and crossing a lake with the hours that we keep just isn't conducive to sanity. We have a great staff who love to come to work, that love the business, but don't know if they're working the next day or not, and that's.
How many employees do you guys have?
Well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 7.
7 people rely on this business.
Right.
Yeah. Well, more importantly than that, this is the only neighborhood restaurant within miles. So the neighbors that are up here full time, this is their neighborhood restaurant. This is where they come and meet the other neighbors and talk about politics and whatever else they're talking about.
Nicely about politics.
Yeah, but it's what we built. We wanted a neighborhood restaurant where we made friends with the neighborhood and be part of the community. And it's on the brink of dying.
Who do you think needs to come and make the move to come to a resolution? I mean, like, is there
Law enforcement.
law enforcement? Okay.
Yes, because we have all the documentation that says that it's illegal for them to block the roads. They registered the roads with the Bureau of Indian Affairs in D.C. And when they did that, they get paid every year to maintain the road. And part of that contract is they have to keep the road open. There's only 3 situations where they can close a road: construction, natural disaster, things like that. This is not one of those situations. So they're actually breaking the law. They're breaking the contract with the BIA and our federal government. But we can't find any law enforcement official to enforce that and make them move it. In fact, Flambeau police are enforcing that civil action against us, which to me, being prior law enforcement, is inappropriate.
What is the path forward for you guys, right? I mean, you said you might have to close your business. What is the future looking like for you?
We need to see what's going on this week. I think we've kind of really reached our limit. Regardless, we still have a house we can't access. It's worth nothing. No one in their right mind is going to buy in this area. There's lists of how many other roads?
There's about 22 to 25 more roads that are on the tribe's list that they feel that they have easement issues with and could possibly close. You asked about a path forward. Financially, we don't have a path forward. I mean, I've worked my entire life to buy a beautiful home on a lake, and now it's worth $0. I can't live there. I can't sell it. It's worth nothing. And that's because the government won't do anything. Law enforcement won't enforce the laws. And our town is inept.
We have a great relationship with the Ojibwe market. We're farm to table, so we try and source as local as possible. They have great butchers back there and great cutters, and they bring us brilliant meat every week. We support Flambeau. We live in Flambeau, and I don't even want to drive through there anymore. I don't even want to go to the post office and get my mail. So I'm afraid. I'm very afraid.
I sleep with a 95-pound lab and a 12-gauge shotgun now. It's the truth. I mean, they threatened to burn our houses down. They've threatened our business. I mean, what am I supposed to do? I'm going to protect what's mine.
My biggest takeaway on this whole thing is we didn't know, we didn't have notice, and it was 25 below, and that's without wind. You know, what are you trying to do? You know, they're knowingly endangering us. They're knowingly endangering us, and my understanding of the situation is they are not communicating at all. Somebody's got to step in. It's escalating very, very quickly to violence. Our seniors, our veterans shouldn't be threatened that their houses are going to be burned down. Somebody needs to step in, or the tribe needs to step up.